everyone, and thanks for tuning in to BMX News Live. We do this every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there's a bunch of people hanging out right now. I'm pretty stoked. There wasn't hardly anybody in here for the first little bit, but gotta give a shout out to the old Huck Krinsky's dad getting the fit check right with the S&M hat and the Partool shirt. The Scene's Not Dead's hanging out. Alan Keats in the UK. James Ovens in the UK. Adam Sober. Zenki TV. Gilligan. What's up, Gilligan? Travis S. Adam Ortiz. Youper. Hi from France. Taco Slurpees. Psilocybin Ryden. Rollback Rob. Jess. Hello. And I think there's a bunch of people who are going to be stoked on the main title and thumbnail and thing I'm going to talk about in this week's BMX News, because it's Vic Murphy talking about the bike that he rode to do the infamous tabletop photo. Let me just pull it up here. The bike that he used to do this is this bike that he's riding right there. And Shad Johnson at Snakebite BMX built it up. He bought the frame from him years ago. He built it up. And in this video, he's literally riding it. And he's talking about the day that the tabletop happened. He talked about his ride cover that had happened just previously and everything that led up to him doing the tabletop that became the infamous, one of, if not the best, most iconic BMX photos that there is. So it's a pretty cool video. I've only made it a few minutes into it, but I'm excited to watch it. Brant, you need to do a tabletop like that off a curb cut. I need to learn how to do a tabletop, period. And with my knee right now not being 100%, I don't know if I can do any kind of tabletops. But let's move on. Let's get into the highlight things from this week. First of all, there is a live stream going down. The Battle of Hastings Rail Jam is going down in 2 hours. That's up here right now. A couple people in the chat there. Shout out from BMX News Live. Everybody, when this is over, 2 hours from now, go hang out and watch the Rail Jam. I'll be watching for sure. Then on Dig, they have a bunch of stuff all put together in one spot. So there's the Rail Jam link, there's the High Air link, and let me just pull this back up to the YouTube page because I think there might be something else here. Yeah, so there's also all of the different live streams that are going to be happening on the Source BMX YouTube page. So the first link that's down in the description after the news is done is a link to the Rail Jam, and then they have everything else scheduled for people to watch throughout the weekend. So there will be High Air, which is today at 1:30, an hour after the Rail Jam. Then tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, the Park Session live stream goes down. Then 1 p.m. Eastern, Best Trick goes down. And then the finals happen on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So make sure you tune in and check it out. Then we have the rest of the Nora Cup nominees. So last week I talked about everything that was out up until that point. Well, now we have a few more. So we talked about Transition Rider. Let's see, Yeah. So Transition Rider, just to recap, Dennis Anderson, Jason Watts, Josh Dove, Kevin Peraza, and Pat Casey. Trails, we have Bob Stringer, Dan Broadfield, Nathan Hallahan, Nathan Saunders, Tyson Jones, Penny. Brant, you need to go to Battle of Hastings next year. Get your passport. I mean, you're not wrong. I really do need to go. Maybe we can make something happen. Source, hit me up. Let's do it. Angie Marino, Emma Finnegan, Hannah Roberts, Kim Lee Moeller, Paris Benegas. For the women's, just recapping what has already been released. So then video part of the year, we have Dennis Anderson Integration, which only makes sense is going to win because it friggin' came out a week before, maybe even at the same time as voting, which is guaranteed not a coincidence. If it is a coincidence, then the timing is impeccable, being that the person who runs Nora Cup and Dennis hang out like on a regular basis. Dakota Roche, Low and High, Jordan Godwin, Freak, Gary Young, Forever Young, and Felix Prangenberg, Freak. Crazy how there's two sections from the same video in video part of the year. That's pretty cool. Full length of the year nominees: Domino from OSS, Freak from Monster Energy, Integration from Vans once again. What a surprise. It's an amazing video. 100% deserving. It's just the timing is not surprising. Magnetar, Fast and Loose, and Tear the Club Up, Troy Charlesworth. It's pretty cool that someone who just made a video made it onto a list with a bunch of different companies and groups of people. Reader's Choice Rider of the Year: Boyd Hilder, Brock Rayford, Felix Prangenberg, Mickey Fleck, and Pat Casey. It can only be Pat Casey. Can only be. That's the only option. Flatland Rider of the Year: we have John William Prevost, Kyo Hayakawa. I'm pretty sure Kyo has a 2-peat going right now. Imagine a 3-peat. Yu Katagiri, Yu Shoji, and Terry Adams. I just want to see the 3-peat. Let me check real quick. Nora Cup 2022. What do we have here? Nora Cup 2022. What? Kyo Hayakawa, Flat Rider of the Year 2022. 2021. We have Kyo Hayakawa. So could this be a 3-peat? That would be wild. Has that ever happened before? It'd be pretty cool if it did. Next, highlight: Murray Lauser on Fly Bikes. Not a lot to say here. There's a bike check with more photos and a parts list on the Fly website if you want to go and check that out. Photo, just a list of all of the parts, Odyssey and Fly, looks like. A little bit of G-Sport in there, and then a bunch of photos of the bike. Next up, Matt Smith of the Yeah texted me this morning and said, are the pencil pads going to make the news? And I was like, they are now. So check this out. I've had Matt on the podcast before if you want to listen to that and hear him talk about how he makes all of these things, but these are hand sewn pencil pads. So there's top tube that I was just looking at, crossbar. Look at the attention to detail here. Crossbar pad. That's cool. It's a broken pencil. There needed to be the tip though. You got 2 broken ends, so you're gonna have to make more and have the tips because you got broken pencils with the other end gone. And then we have the stem buddy one. Check them out, linked in the description down below. It's pretty sweet though. And then there's a bunch of other really awesome ones, the black, the floral, the leopard, cargo, which is probably behind me. Here you go. Cargo, reflective. That's cool. Hollow reflective for the park riders who want the oil slick bar, crossbar, and frame pads. Camo. That's awesome. Check them out. Next, we get into the videos from this week, starting in shortest, going to the longest. We have Damian Cespedes, Microdosis. Quick video, just over a minute long. Solid riding, some burly riding, super technical riding. Worth watching. Should make pencil grips. That would be cool. Then we have Odyssey's guest list with Boyd Hilder and Garrett Reynolds. What a freaking lineup. Boyd Hilder and Garrett Reynolds riding together. Wild. It's only a little over 2 minutes long. I haven't watched it yet because I'm going to react to this video and one other video for BMX React this week because I wanted to react to some, current videos and just 2 that I knew were going to be amazing. So there's that. Then there's a video called Unicorn Days 2023. It looks like this is a jam. Yeah, it's an event at the Unicorn House skate park, bar, restaurant, arcade. That's the way to do it. If you want to have a successful skate park, an indoor park, and you can't do something to the scale of like what Ray's has done to make it just like a destination, you got to combine it with something else. Bar, restaurant, arcades, things that people want to do who aren't going to be riding. It's pretty cool though. Then we've got Case Taylor killing it at the Volcom Park. Case Taylor might be one of the best unknown underground riders, at least in the mainstream sense of BMX, for people who just don't know about this guy, that there is. Like, this dude is incredible. So I'm going to react to this video as well. The ramps and the height he does flares out of the ramps at Volcom Park that are like 9-foot quarters. I was scared just to air them out a couple feet. I can't even imagine doing a 10-foot flare. Dude's amazing. Wait till this week's BMX React video. He'll be stoked. Then we have an Asheville scene report. I thought this was a pretty cool video because you don't see scene reports super often, and the beginning of it kind of had a props-ish vibe to it with the editing of the photos and kind of the slideshow feel. Just, I don't know, had a good feel to it. Check it out. Next, we've got a video with Simone Baracco called Kisses from Shadow and Sabrosa. Aside from the riding being completely unique like it is with Simone and just on another level of technicality, the editing to this and the filming and everything and the songs and the way it was put together makes for just an all-around entertaining video. I really enjoyed this one, and I think anybody who's even slightly a fan of Simone will enjoy it as well. Next up, we got a video from Dane Beardsley called About Time. And the highlight from this is that this is a majority flatland video with not only a double peg down a real handrail, but also a rail ride on a wooden rail. In the same video as a flatland video. He's riding some street, a little bit of park, but mostly flatland, and I thought that was pretty sick. So definitely check this one out, especially if you haven't heard of Dane. He's an incredible rider. I'm still trying to understand WTF Simone was doing. I get it, man. Totally get it. Valentine Catot, rail ride boss. So there's one thing here that we have to show, and it's the thumbnail rail ride because it is just wild. And it's not even the craziest rail ride from this video. He rode onto it from a down ledge and is dropping like 6 times to a 360 out. That is incredible. And it does not look like it's a very wide rail. So nuts. This video is 6.5 minutes long, and I think it's worth the watch. The last clip is a rail ride to bar that's madness, and then there's a bunch of stuff kind of at the end there. Just watch the video. It's worth it. Then we get into the interview type stuff this week. We got 3-on-3 with Jared Glasgow, aka Murder Bike. This is from John Rogers, and he's going to go around interviewing a bunch of people. 3 questions, 3 clips. And we hear a little bit about Jared, who does a lot of making of videos and not as much being in videos. So watch that if you want to learn a little bit more. He's the one who is making most of the standard videos that you see from that Iowa area. Next up, Inside Profile Racing with the Imperial Sprocket manufacturing process. Just kind of going over the machine, how it works, the process itself, and then the final product in its packaged form for someone to buy. Pretty good video. Interesting, and they've been making these sprockets for over 20 years. My first aftermarket sprocket that I bought was a Profile Imperial, and it was a 33 tooth because I had a 13 tooth freewheel as my rear hub, and my bike came with a 36. So I thought I need to go down, and then it was way too easy to pedal, as you can imagine. Next up, Eclat, Alex Kennedy, grain. And I thought this was kind of cool that Eclat put out this video where Alex Kennedy is just talking about food, thought processes, his experience with what he's eating and trying to be more healthy, as well as extend like how long he's able to ride in his life. And to see a company put out a video like this on their YouTube page is pretty cool because I mean I feel like you generally think that you're going to get a positive reaction from it, but it's totally possible that just nobody would watch this video. And to take a little bit of a chance, I mean, yeah, it doesn't really cost you a whole lot to put this video out there. It's a good thing that a company would do this, and somebody had to put time into it. So it is an investment. Pretty cool. And it's got over 3,000 views. So that's good, I think. Next up, Canode Knows. This week was with Ditch Matt. What is crazy about this? I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but the next thing that I talk about is the Our BMX News podcast. And when we look at the length of this podcast, or these two, are within 8 seconds of each other. I don't know why I'm always looking at the lengths of videos because I order them by length, so that's why I pay attention to this stuff. But I just thought it was so crazy that two things from two totally different areas and people ended up being within 8 seconds of each other in length when they're both over 2 hours long. So, if you don't have time to catch up on, or you missed a weekly news live stream, what I do, or you want to hear people talk about things more, or you want to hear Dennis or Garrett's thoughts on things that happened this past month, well, you can go over and watch that one. Check out Canode Knows with Ditch Matt if you want to learn a little bit more about Ditch Matt. And with that, let's see if there's anything that was posted. Oh, look, something was posted. So we'll have to throw this in as the last link of the video. Oh, there's a couple things. So, Blocktoberfest contest, $1,500 cash prize in Hollywood Park in Iowa. So it's two things from the Midwest here. Then we've got profiles 5-on-5 conversations with our crew. This one is with Billy Woodfin, and I'm assuming because I haven't had a chance, yeah, it's the same concept as the one with Chad DeGroot. It's Dan Conway, Shane Leeper, Dylan Leeper, and Matt Copeland just asking questions, and then I'm assuming Billy is answering them. Check it out if you want to learn more about Billy Woodfin. And I'm going to go ahead and toss this into the template or the links from this week so that you guys can 5-on-5. So you guys can watch it. And after the live stream ends, these will get tossed in. Actually, you know what? Let's just throw them in now while we're still live. Because why not? Boom. Paste it in there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's BMX news. I appreciate you cruising through and hanging out. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week. And then the following week, we will have BMX news live from Cornhucket, or pre-Cornhucket. Cornhucket Eve. I will be out in Nebraska the 22nd. Yeah, it's the 22nd. So 2 weeks from today, BMX News will be live in Nebraska. So with that being said,